Okay, so as a man, as you get older, one of the things that's going to help you most in life is if you can just like lose your obsession with women. And I'll kind of explain to you what I mean. So I'm going to be 30 years old um, this coming April. And every year that I get older, there's certain things that I learn. Like there's more wisdom that I acquire, and it's easier for me to talk about these topics because when you look at the grand scheme of things, or when you really zoom out and you look at your life as a whole, you realize that the things you thought were important or the things that you thought really matter don't. Okay, so let me give you an example. One of the things that you're going to have to do as you get older is you're going to have to lose your obsession with women. And specifically, what that means is losing your obsession with lust and losing your obsession with beauty in general. So, when I was younger, or when any guy's younger, you see there's a lot of different things that will be thrown in your face. There's going to be all these beautiful women on social media that you're going to see, okay? And there's going to be all of these, beautiful models in magazines and all this stuff, okay? All you're going to see is lust thrown in your face 24/7. And what that does is it puts you in like a mindset state of lack, where you will always feel like either you're not high enough value, or you're going to feel like you're not attractive enough, or you're going to feel like everybody else in the world has all these hot women around them, and little me just sitting right here in my apartment or in my house, I got nothing. I got nothing. I got no options. That's what you're going to feel like. And that is the state of mind that a lot of young men feel. And I would say that that's even the state of mind that a lot of like older guys sometimes feel too. But let me give you some of the best dating advice you'll ever need and some of the best life advice. When you lose your obsession with women, you can finally fully develop and fully mature as a man. It's almost like when you're younger, you're learning game, and as you get older, you actually have a solidified and fortified identity where it's like any woman that's around you, since you're older and more mature, she just is able to get a read on who you are as a human, and she's like, okay, yeah, like he knows himself. And that's good enough a lot of times for your game. If you've been putting in the work and if you're maturing, if you've been chasing purpose, if you've been chasing career, if you've been chasing building yourself, if you've been chasing building your status. And when I say status, I just mean overall SMV and overall career and purpose goals. So you have a solidified way of life. Look at any professional. Look at a professional football player. Look at a professional basketball player. Look at a professional NASCAR driver. Look at a pilot, a dentist, a doctor, whatever. They have somewhat of a sense of self and identity. And even from the outside looking in, you're going to hear those professions and instantly just look at that guy and think, he definitely knows himself. He's doing a specific thing. Okay. One of the greatest things you'll learn is that when you're able to lose your obsession with women, it actually allows you to date better. You will naturally have more of an abundant mindset. You'll naturally be in a state of abundance. And I want to really talk about what the obsession with women actually is and what it looks like. What it looks like right now is an entire generation of men automatically assuming that they are at the default lower value mindset. Well, what's the default lower value mindset? That means that there's all these hot women. They have all these, cute outfits, and, they're so gorgeous, and all these women have so many followers, and so many men would just love to get that one date. And what happens is majority of the women who are in that category when it comes to, social media or whatever, what you'll find is that these guys slowly realize that the women don't want to communicate, the women don't want to talk to them, the women a lot of times don't respect majority of the modern men that they meet, and majority of men will always tend to feel like they're not attractive enough. So there's two roads. Road number one is you try to actually play the game and win at the game, and road number two is you stop playing the game at all. So let me give you an example of what both roads look like. When you look at option number one or road number one, when guys are younger, okay, and a lot of guys don't even grow out of this mindset, sadly, until they're 40, 50, 60 years old. They realize that they were doing the wrong things. A lot of guys attempt to win at the game. So what happens is they find these women who are very hot, very beautiful, a lot of times very superficial, okay? And they try to win at that game. And what that game looks like is these guys try to constantly elevate their status. They're trying to post the coolest photos on social media. They're trying to always, take these pictures to look high status. It's like just a big game. It's like at the end of the day, we're all human. Okay, we're all human. And since we're all human, like, you got to understand, God made all of us in his image. So the problem that you're going to find, and I just know this because of meeting guys over the years, I see guys who have tried to play that game. Oh, high status. Oh, looking really good. Oh, I have all the latest jewelry. I have all the latest, designer clothes. I have the fastest sports car. Guys go down that road, and I still see these guys run into the exact same issues with women that they were running into when they didn't have any of these things. But they keep trying to win at the game. They keep trying to win at the game. And they'll always tell themselves there's a perceived deficit that they have to overcome. So every day that guy looks in the mirror and says, yeah, my verbal skills, I'm still not good enough at it. My communication, I'm still just not good enough at it. Oh, yeah. My fashion, I'm just not good enough at it. It's like, dude, if you've been able to live your whole life and survive, your communication's fine. If you have even a friend or two, your communication's good enough to make a friend or two. The problem is, like, there's always another higher level. It's just like making money. There's always somebody richer. If you make $1 million a year, you'll meet a guy that makes 2. If you meet a guy that makes 2, you'll find a guy who makes 4. You'll meet a guy who makes 8. Then you'll meet a guy who makes 100 million. Well, if you make 100 million, you'll find a guy who makes 1 billion. It's like, it's never ending, right? It's the same with this. So it's like a guy does put in some work on himself and up levels. And I've seen guys who make millions of dollars a year, are good looking, work out every day, have a good head on their shoulders, and they still feel like there's some kind of lack or perceived deficit that they have to overcome. And it stems from the obsession with women. So that's option number 1, and it typically doesn't work. I don't ever really see these types of guys have an amazing dating life. A lot of times, here's what it leads to. A lot of casually just dating, and then the guy's unfulfilled, and then as he's unfulfilled, he realizes that he probably wasted a lot of time with women who never cared about him to begin with. And then a lot of times, it takes him a lot of years to realize this and mature, but he'll just settle down by getting a girlfriend or something like that, and he just wants a simpler, more peaceful life. And that's why it doesn't work oftentimes. And I see this as I get older. Like, I've been making videos like this for a lot of years. I've had so many clients over the years. I've had so many, different people who I've interacted with. It's like I've seen all of this. So that's road number 1, okay? Road number 2 is you stop playing the game completely. And this is the road that I've chosen. This is the route that I live by. I am who I am. So I don't care if a picture that I take looks high status or low status. If it's me and I like it and I want the picture, I'll post the picture. Okay? I don't care what the latest fashion trend is. If I like the piece of clothing, I'm going to wear it. And that's that. I am who I am. And the coolest thing about that is you can kind of move a little bit unconventionally. Everybody else might be doing something a certain way, and you're just kind of like, screw it, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to do things my way because that's how I want to do it and that's how I am. I'm going to wear the clothes that I want to wear. I'm going to act the way I want to act. I'm going to communicate the way I want to communicate. I'm going to have the hairstyle that's not the latest fashion trend or hairstyle. I'm going to look the way I want to look. And you just live your life like that. And then the coolest thing about that is you realize God only made one of you. So you're on your own path anyways. You're on your own path already with business. You're on your own path already with your own style, with your life. It's all unfolding. You just have to step into it. You have to ignore everything that you see on the screen. And the screen might be social media. It might be a magazine. It might be a billboard. One day if you're driving by somewhere on the street, you're going to see all this stuff that tries to influence you to tell you that your life isn't good enough, when in actuality your life is. And you just need to step into who you are. You need to step into who you are. And it starts by accepting the fact that you have to get rid of your obsession with women. It starts at a very young age for most guys. Very, very young age. Okay? And you got to understand, a lot of guys are going through this. If you're watching this video, I'm making this for you because there's a very strong chance that you're in this category. What happens is guys at a really young age, they wake up and then one day, their best friend at school or whatever shows them a smartphone or a computer. And then all of a sudden they're on that dirty website. And then at a young age already that guy is seeing that, type of stuff. Okay? You get a little bit older. And now you start to see everybody, trying to act high status or act really professional or do whatever in their corporate job to be somebody. And at the end of the day, it's like everybody's just obsessed with dating. They're obsessed with women. They're obsessed with lust. They're obsessed with hopefully being able to get laid. And you actually see a lot of guys lose themselves in this. They lose themselves in it so bad, by the end of it, they have no sense of self. They have no sense of identity. It's like the clothes they're wearing, the stuff they're doing, the shoes they're wearing, the car they're driving, the location that they're living, it's not even them. It's not even what they want to do. A lot of times they're even in a professional job or a career that they don't even like. They did all of this to hopefully appear like they have enough status in order to hopefully attract that woman that they think is going to bring them so much fulfillment. And it's a weak way of living. It's just a weak way of living. It's like your whole life then revolves around getting laid. Your whole life will revolve around your obsession with women. And it took me a lot of years to realize this, until I realized, just like there's always somebody richer, there's going to always be someone more attractive than you. There's going to be always, this perceived lack of information or specific things that you think you need to know or do in order to learn the next thing, where if you would have said this one specific sentence, then you wouldn't have had that breakup with your girlfriend, or then, the woman you met at the bar would have liked you more, or any of these things. And it's just not true. As I get older, I live every day in the present moment. And I tell myself, whatever path unfolds in front of me, that's just how it's going to go. I'm going to follow my God-given purpose. I'm going to use the skills I was born with, and I'm going to just let life play out, and I'm going to let it develop. And it starts by losing your obsession with dating and losing your obsession with women. I think that this is the first step in true freedom. For a lot of guys, I think this is actually the first step in finding God. For a lot of guys, I think this is the first step in actually understanding what type of career or field you actually want to be part of, instead of what career or field you think will give you the best social perception when it comes to your family, friends, parents, significant other, and hopefully woman you're trying to attract, because that's a lot of times why guys do certain things. Like actually figuring out at your core root identity who you are. If you do this, and if you really listen to me close on this, this will be the key to you unlocking true, genuine desire when you meet a woman that's right for you. Because when you meet a woman that's right for you, she's going to be head over heels in love with you. It's like you burp and she thinks it's funny. You laugh and she thinks it's funny. You sneeze and she thinks it's funny. It's like all of a sudden she just likes everything about you. And a lot of times when you operate this way, she sees that you don't act like all the other guys act. She's going to think you're more down to earth. She's going to think you're more real. And what this translates to when she calls up her best girlfriends on the phone, or she goes on a FaceTime call with them, she says, yeah, I met a real man. Yeah, I met a guy where it feels like we have such a real connection. These are the words she's going to use. She's going to say, it feels like we have real chemistry. She's going to say, it feels like, things are just so smooth. It feels so effortless. She's going to get this feeling around you because she sees you don't need to try to qualify yourself by acting like everybody else. So this is like the first step, in my opinion, when it comes to true freedom. True freedom starts by losing your obsession with dating and with women. And I hope that you like this video. What I did over the past year, I created an entire community. There's over 2,000 guys inside of it right now. I call it Headman Nation, okay? Inside this community, I help guys learn, understand, and master the language of women. So what that means is I built a specific process where I take you through 3 phases. In the beginning, I call it front end game, okay? And with front end game, this is how to act or how to demonstrate certain masculinity characteristics when you first meet the woman. Then I show you mid game or middle game, which is how to carry yourself on the first 1 to 3 dates. And this is to demonstrate the proper masculinity traits or characteristics to raise her desire. And then I even show you specific processes you can use with back end game, which is how to properly manage the dynamic if you were to have a long-term relationship. Okay, and this entire system I built. Okay, so I advise you to check that out now that this video is over. I have an entire community. Like if there was only, let's say, 10 people in this or 100 guys in this community, well, okay, cool. It's still a good number, but it's like, that doesn't show a lot. But in my opinion, since we have over 2,000 guys in this, I built a lot of cool things in there, and I want you to check it out. I want you to see it. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.